Krista, and this is my big sister Stacey.
And this is Sister Social Call. Hey, Sissy.
Hello, sister. How are you tonight?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm pretty good. We got a lot of things going on here.
Mm-hmm.
But good. Everything's good.
The final countdown is on for my voyage back to the homeland.
Exactly. We're getting there. I can't wait to see you. Just trying to dial in all the last little minute things before you get here so that we're organized to just have a 9 days of relaxation.
That is the goal. A chill visit. Yeah.
It's just, I always end up, I do too much. Like, I know I can only handle a certain amount of things. So what do? I volunteer for the 50/50s, sign up to do the art show and sale. Not fucking ready one bit for that. And then you're going to be home. It's like, wow, I really layered it on thick for myself.
We'll be okay.
I always do that shit. I don't know why. And then I have a great time doing it. But before I kind of get a little wound up. So I'm feeling wound up a little bit.
It's okay. We will manage when I'm there.
It'll be perfect. I know.
Yeah.
It'll be good.
Okay, well, we're back to using a script tonight, folks.
Are you feeling better? Because somebody actually commented to me that you sounded a little uneasy about not having a script.
Yes!
A client was in today and they said, your sister sounded a bit uneasy about that. I said, well, it is a little out of her wheelhouse.
Yes, it truly is. I was nervous, especially because I couldn't do our normal welcome. So I'm going to do our normal welcome, which is we want to welcome all of our listeners back to Sister Social Call and say a very special hello to all of our new listeners. Oh, that felt better.
Welcome, everyone. My goodness, we're so glad to have you all here. If you're new, thank you for joining us. And for those of you that are returning, we thank you guys so much for supporting us. Sissy, you did a great job of that.
Thanks, Sissy. I want to talk about a sensitive topic tonight on the pod. And it's at the front of my mind right now because I'm traveling home and something's coming up right away. So I want to talk about wills, sis, because traveling home and thinking about aging parents, the will conversation sometimes comes up, but also when I get back from our visit to Saskatchewan, Sean and I have a date with our lawyer on July 13th to update our wills. So Sean and I have a pretty simple estate at this point in our lives, but the last time we did our wills was 2010. And the reason we have to update our wills is because we designated a few beneficiaries in our wills that are no longer in our lives. So in the not so nice way to say it, we have to write some people out of our wills. So that's why we need to go to the lawyer and update our wills. But it has had me thinking about how do I write a will for longevity, right? Rather than putting people into our wills that, although the friendships were many, many, many years, are no longer in our lives, that we have to update it. And I don't really want to do that every 10 to 15 years. I know change is inevitable. I get that. But we want to make sure that our will that we're going to update has some staying power with it. So we're updating the will to just simply have Chrissy, Jay, and Catherine, who is Sean's sister, receive 1/3 of our estate each. And the only thing that we have that is of some value that we've written somebody else in, it was Brother Neil. He's getting written into the will for Sean's bikes and for his tools because Brother Neil would understand the value of the bikes and of the tools. And I think it's meaningful for him as opposed to you and Jay, well, and Catherine for sure would have no inkling of what or even where to sell this stuff to get rid of it. So that's what we are planning to do with our will. And so it's made our will even simpler than what it was. And so that is a little bit of our plan. We know that having a will is a critical piece to estate planning. So I'm looking forward to that update. Chrissy, have you updated your will recently?
Well, I'm going to be in the process of that real soon here myself because Mark and I split up but I didn't want to do it until all of my investment stuff was moved over to Astra Financial. I wanted that to be done before I did anything, so that's done now. And so I'm going to use Willful, which is what Zena recommended for me to use. It's an online platform to use, so I'm just going to use that. I'm simple. I don't have a lot of assets. For the most part, actually, at this point in time, those types of things are left to my niece and nephews. And then I guess when I do up my will too, it'll be very similar. Like you and Jay will get a 50-50 split on my jazz.
How are you writing the business? Have you contemplated that?
You guys don't want it.
No, I don't want your business, but how do you deal with the business in your will?
Yeah, well, I'm not entirely sure about that, but I'm kind of hoping that this willful online thing prompts me in that regard. But same thing. It's like what do you call it? Dissolve it, sell it, get rid of it all, and then split whatever's remaining in half. Like, I don't really know in regards to exactly how that looks, especially since I'm a sole proprietor. It's not like you guys would have to deal with like a corporation. It'd probably be a little bit different. But again, I'm going to hope that the willful prompts me in that direction. Like, if you're a business owner, I hope it's very like that. I mean, I could probably talk to Sue and write something up with her, but I'm going to go this route because I like the idea of having access to it at any time and just being able to change it as things flow through my life.
Mm-hmm.
Not that there's going to be anything that really changes, but I like, Zen has suggested it. I'm going to go for it. I think it'll be pretty user friendly. If I have any questions, I'll probably just talk to Sue, which is my friend. She's a lawyer, so she can guide me in that direction with the things that I don't really understand. But honestly, I think just split her right down the middle. I don't have any in-law outlaws or anybody like that I need to consider. And honestly, at this point in my life, I will not ever have to consider, because even if I do share my life with somebody, there is going to be minimal likelihood of us combining our lives together to that point. I think it's just best to keep things separate where we're at. So easy and simple, but I guess, yeah, it's really important because same thing. I know people who have had to deal with deaths in their family that with people like sudden deaths where people didn't have wills. Even when people do have wills, it's not always necessarily that easy. I have a client who's dealing with the death of her partner. They were together for probably 10, 12 years. They're older. He had cancer. The will was all done. Everything was done. She was the power of attorney, the executor, all this stuff. It's still over a year and they're still trying to work through things. But it's a fact of life, and it's not one that we want to have to. It's not necessarily the easiest conversation to have, and it's not necessarily the most thrilling task to do in life, but it's one of those adulting things that we need to do. Just plain and simple, we have to do it. And I think it's pretty old school that people don't like to think about their mortality, but it's not a comfortable thing for people. Like, I think that there's probably people in my life, like I would say maybe even our brother. I don't know if he has a will. I don't even know if he likes to talk about things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not necessarily a comfortable conversation to have, or even not even conversation, but it's not even a comfortable thought for some people. You know what? Like, some people don't really, I think with our grandfather, that was not something he liked to talk about. That was not a conversation he was willing to have. He didn't even want to think about what was going to happen to his business because he didn't think, I don't think he wanted to think about the fact that he wasn't going to be around.
Yes.
So
he did not talk about death ever, but thankfully they had a will.
Yes.
Yeah. They wrote their wills when I was living at their house in university.
Yeah.
And then Grandpa made me their executor, and I wish I would have known what that meant. But it was probably ignorance is bliss, probably for the best that I didn't know what I was getting myself into at the time.
Yeah, and I mean, you know what? Honestly, you probably learned a lot throughout that whole process, and it wasn't like you just walked out there and were like, okay, I dealt with that. Like, you definitely were compensated for the work that you did. So it was just like having a part-time job for a couple. Yeah. So, and honestly, how would you ever learn about all that stuff if you didn't actually have a hands-on experience, and because you can't necessarily predict all of that stuff that was going on with them, like, or in their lives with all their assets and different things like that. Like, you wouldn't have learned all that stuff had you not actually had to go down that road and work through all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, for you it was a lot, but you were the best person to deal with it, honestly. And you actually kind of found a bit of a passion in that. And that really sparked an interest in you.
I am very passionate about it. I've definitely dialed back the interest level.
Yeah.
In it, because it's a lot. Like, dealing with an estate is a lot. Granny and Grandpa's estate was a lot. So when they passed away after Granny passed away and we could like move out to the mountains, I've definitely have put that interest on the back burner, but it's just so important to me that people look at their lives and minimize risk. That's what I think of writing a will, is risk minimization.
But there is that attitude too, where people are just like, I'll be dead, who cares? Like, well, save the people around you, but yeah, so there's a bit of interesting attitudes around the will thing, but and I get it. It's not necessarily a comfortable conversation with people. Absolutely, but it is just a fact of life. It's for the people in your life that are around you, it's the right thing to do.
Here's a question. So you mentioned that Mazzy Talisman will get some of the estate. Now, I assume that's a flow through, or like in the event that Jay passes away, like his 50% would be shared equally amongst the 3 kiddos. Is that kind of what you're thinking, Sissy?
No, the kids will get all my investments.
Okay. So,
and then you and Jay can have my house and my business and whatever else is remaining.
We don't need another house.
You guys can sell it, whatever.
That's interesting that you have the kids written in your will, because the kids are not written in our home and our finances, our investments. Again, I said it's separate. It's 1/3 to each of you. And I'm kind of following in Granny and Grandpa's footsteps in that way, because they did not write their grandchildren into the will. They only wrote their 3 daughters.
Yeah.
And so it allowed the mothers decide how they wanted to share the inheritance. And so I've kind of taken that as well. Like Jay will get 1/3 and he'll share it with Mazzy Talisman however he sees fit. Maybe in 10 or 15 years, when they are in their late 20s and early 30s, that maybe that will change for Sean and I. Maybe we will want to rewrite our wills because they'll be adults at that point. But right now, anything would go into trust for them anyways if something happened to us. So
honestly, I plan to spend it all. There's going to be 50 cents left in there. I'm going to spend every cent that I have. So don't worry about it. There's going to be nothing left. But in case something freak happens, the kids will get that money, and then everything else is you and Jay. But yeah, I don't know. I just, again, I think of it in the terms of, I mean, I know the kids will likely be pretty set for life. They have a good foundation. However, I know that by the time they're able to buy a house, it's going to be damn near impossible. So if there's anything left and that can help them, I want to do that for them, because they'll need that. They'll need that, whatever, that little extra. And I'm grateful. I mean, our mom is still alive and she definitely helps us, in different situations in our life. But you know what, the kids, it's going to be different. It's going to be a difficult time for them. And honestly, yeah, there's not going to be much money there for them. But, if there is a little bit left, then that's awesome. Then they can, hopefully that helps them move forward in their life, whether it's school or it's a home, or if they are strapped and they need a new vehicle, or it's just not going to be that easy. So
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, honestly, I don't have a lot of investments. I do it by myself. I don't have a retirement plan. It's me. It's all on me here. So anything that I have saved is essentially going to go to me living the day I decide I don't want to work as much anymore. So the chances of there being any, unless seriously, it'll be minimal. It'll be minimal. When you have investments and whatever, you have to have some beneficiary on them. And so I had them on mine before. And so we just carried that over for them to stay on.
Well, here's a list of things that I'm thinking about as I get prepared to take our wills back into the lawyer to update. So one of them is who's going to be our executor. So currently we have Catherine and Scott. Like I said, Catherine is Sean's sister, Scott is her partner, and they're currently listed as our executors. But when I'm home, actually this coming up in the next week, I'm gonna just check in with them again to see if they have the capacity to be our executor still. And if not, well, oh boy. We'll have to think about who would like that responsibility in our lives.
I could probably do that job for you.
Okay.
It's not necessarily a job I want to do, but it's also I'll figure it out. No sweat. It's fine. Well, it's no biggie.
There will be one guarantee. Sean and I will have our stuff in pretty tight order.
Yeah, and honestly, that stuff doesn't bug me. It's part of life. I know it's very important to you that everybody has everything dialed in to make your life very easy. Yeah. But to me, it doesn't matter. To me, I'm totally here for it. If there's things that mom doesn't want to clean out of her house, I don't care. Or dad, if there's things that I have to deal with, fine. Doesn't matter to me. It's part of life. We care for the people around us. So if that means that I become your executor of your will, if that's not something they want to do anymore, I'm okay with that. In fact, I'll be honored to do that for whoever, whatever, because they're important people in my life. So I don't feel that same way about you, like the same way you feel. I feel very differently about that stuff. Whether it's a house that's left full of shit, I don't care. I'll call 1-800 get dumped to the dump. They can deal with it. Like, whatever. I'm fine with that stuff, but I know that you feel very differently.
Yeah, I feel like people deal with your shit. That's how I feel.
I know that, but it's also not necessarily easy for some people, and what makes them comfortable in their life while they're living is different than you.
This is a topic that Sean and I don't have to think about with our wills, but something that people that they need to think about when they're drafting their wills is who, if they have children, who is going to be their guardian and what conditions they may have to those children to receive their inheritance. So not a worry about us, but for parents, that's something to think about. And one thing when I was reading this or writing it, I was like, I wonder who mom and dad designated as our guardians when we were growing up.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I feel that's something we probably would have heard at some point or another.
And the fact
Stacey?
we don't.
They had it as you.
They're like, she's 16, she's 15, she'll be fine to take
Doesn't
care of
matter.
those kids.
She's got this under control. Whatever. All is fine. I actually am going to bet that they never did deal with that. Like, that's not something they probably even considered.
Okay, well, we're going to find out. To our listeners, we don't know either.
But good thing that we're all 40 plus years old, and that's not something that we need to really be concerned about.
Yeah.
It's just more of a thing. It'll be interesting to hear.
Yeah, curiosity.
Yeah, I was, I don't know if I told you this, sis, but Jay and Lisa did update their wills. I know this because not that long ago, they actually reached out to me and asked if they could make me the guardian of the kids.
It makes sense that you would be the guardian.
Yeah, so they obviously have talked about that. But anyways, I was like, oh my gosh, I think I was very honored by that. Obviously, like, who would have ever thought that somebody would ask me to be the guardian of their children? How times change.
Well, you're in the city. You have your shit together.
I totally get it for sure, right? Like, and it's hard because, I think that's probably just like a no-brainer to them because Lisa has 3 sisters herself.
Mm-hmm.
All have, like, one sister has children, one also lives in BC like you, and then one, has a pretty active, busy life. And it would be hard to choose one over the other, I think, when you have that many siblings. So I get it. It's just like, well, ask Chrissy. She's in Regina. I am, like, not younger than you by much, but I would be the youngest sibling, right?
Okay, another one is beneficiaries. So, Chris, like I've already talked about, Jay, Chrissy, and Catherine will be our beneficiaries. But it also, you need to have beneficiaries if the primary one predeceases you.
Yep.
So here's the only one that I specified in our updating our will is that our wedding rings will go to Chrissy. But if Chrissy passes away, then Mazzy gets our wedding rings. So if she's above the age of majority, which she's getting pretty close, so I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, that's important to also designate who gets it in the event that the first person passes away. And then things to think about too is like funeral and burial wishes. Ours are very brief, like in our will, so that's good. And then we have to account for all of our assets, so like real estate and bank account, investments, retirement accounts, life insurance.
Well, this life insurance one is a little bit of a jogger for me because somehow I have 2 different life insurance policies, and I should look into them. One's through Sun Life and one is through my bank. I should look and see who the beneficiaries are of those, because that
could be your ex, your husband.
I think I got that changed, but I don't know. I probably left him one to you and one to Jay, I'm guessing. I gotta look into that. I'm glad that you wrote this in the notes. I'm like, okay, check, put that in my list of to-dos. Contact Sun Life and contact bank and see what's up with that.
Could you imagine if Ryan got your life insurance policy?
He would have felt like he hit the bloody lottery.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, I did change everything when we got divorced. I know I did that, but I just can't remember who I put on there. I'm assuming it's you and Jay, but that's interesting because I can't think for the freaking life of me at this present moment, like at all. So I'll have to contact them. But there you go. There's something else you get to inherit.
Great. Not that I'm like looking for more stuff. I hope you know. It doesn't matter.
It's money, so it's not stuff. Don't worry.
Yeah. Well, I don't even need that.
That should cover all my shit in my life at that point in time.
Yeah.
Everybody should be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other things to contemplate. One is your personal property. So like art, vehicles, other sentimental items. I talked about Mazzy getting our wedding rings, but some people have like significant jewelry collections.
Oh, huge. Like art, like you said, people are collectors of things, like even antiques. There's all kinds of things people collect. I think it's a little bit less and less, but yeah, a friend of mine, her sister's a big antique collector. And I mean, I'm telling you, the amount of stuff this woman has is unreal. But I just noticed that she's starting to sell her stuff online as well. Like she's doing this Facebook Lives and selling her, like a lot of her collections. I thought, I don't really know the reasoning behind it, but like, yeah, you got to think about those things. Like if you have, and I mean, some of the pieces, I'm talking like little trinkety ornaments, they're selling for a few $100. Well, you've got 100 of those. Well, you've got and more stuff. So important to think about those things too. Like it's not necessarily like art is a big one. Like, yeah.
Well, and this is the last one on the list that I've been thinking about. And this one is probably the most meaningful to me is pet care. Who is going to look after our pets if something should happen to us? And I actually have to update this one because we had Dad as our designate and then you, Sissy, but we need to switch you to be the primary designate because Dad doesn't have the space to look after pets.
Oh my gosh. Shall I ever end up being the only one left? I'm going to end up with a funny farm because everybody's leaving their pets to me.
It's true.
Yeah. I guess in my previous will, I probably had you and Sean as pet care. So
which
probably
you can still make us. Yes, you can still make us.
Yeah, you're going to have to be for sure.
I feel like Sean wouldn't even he would probably fight that in the will if you didn't have them listed.
Yeah, no doubt. Like who else would take these cats for sure?
We've already inherited one cat.
Exactly. Yes, totally. Exactly. But those are all really, really important things to make sure that you account for and the things that you've checked off the list when you are making a will, definitely. But I think when you're doing a will, I don't know, I kind of briefly looked into the willful one, but then I realized there was a couple things I wanted to make sure were dialed in before I actually went and updated it because I didn't want to be updating it again. So I hope that when I get on there, it really just prompts you for all the things possible because I think it's important. I mean, if you go to a lawyer, surely they likely have all this mapped out for you as well. Basically, you could just plug the answers in kind of thing. But just a really important fact of life. And it's just important to actually have those conversations so that you know truly what people's wishes are at the end of life. You know, if you don't have those conversations, you don't necessarily know. And I think that is important. It's not necessarily the most ideal conversation to have, but it's important.
Yeah, it's very sensitive, can be uncomfortable, but really important. And actually, I think it's a weight is lifted off your shoulders when you get this adulting task done.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It's just like one of those things that lingers in the back of your mind. It's like, I should do that. I should do it. I should do it. And then you just keep putting it off. But getting it done is just like, it's done. Big check mark.
Yeah, definitely. And then once you do it, you realize it's not that intimidating and not that scary. And it's okay. You know, it's okay to have those conversations and to think about those things and have those thoughts. And yeah, I think that's a pretty good conversation to have because I do believe a lot of people that listen to us are I know that our audience is this is an important conversation for our audience because they're in the age and stage of life where this is an important part of life to get done if not already.
Yeah. And just can see how easy the conversation can be between family members where I need to update our will and you and just working through it naturally. You're not getting upset about things.
No, but we've talked about this our whole life together, but sometimes when me, you and mom are on the phone together, and you're cause you're the executor and all that stuff with her. And then you guys start having those conversations about things. I sometimes think that's a conversation that you guys should have in person and not necessarily over the phone. And I don't necessarily need to be in on it. So sometimes when you start asking about that, I'm like, okay, maybe that's a conversation for when you're home. Because I do think that's more appropriate than when we're having a 3-way conversation. It's not that I don't want to know. I just don't think mom's as comfortable necessarily about talking about some things with it as you and I are. So I think if you're home and you can sit down with mom and have a one-on-one conversation with her, probably better that than over the phone. But
I agree. I think these conversations are way better handled in person.
Absolutely.
But distance is challenging. I also believe that sometimes conversations can come up very organically.
Organically, yeah.
And it's seize the moment.
Yeah, for sure. If you're in, you might as well keep being in. Yeah. Any last notes on the wills or anything like that, sis?
No, I think I've said all the things I've wanted to say tonight.
Good. I'm glad for that. Awesome. Shall we move into our pits, icks, peaks, and plans.
Yeah. Do you have an ick this week, sis?
Well, I have a little one that's kind of been festering a bit, but I don't know if it's one that I should say out loud. Who's going first?
I can go first this week. That's fine.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, pits. I don't have any. Peaks. We
Got
had our...
any ick?
No, I don't. I never have any icks, I don't think. Like, not like the types of icks you have. And I think that people want to hear is when you're getting booty called at 12:30 at night. I don't have an
This
icks.
is
I don't have
this is
icks
not
like
that
that.
kind of ick today. Okay, fine.
No. I don't have that kind of ick in my life.
Well, there could be any kind of ick. Like you could be like, oh my god, I ordered a fast food box, and in it I got a rotten pear and a rotten banana. Ick. That's my ick.
No icks.
Simple. Okay, good.
Like, the only icks maybe then are just my cats puking. But, like, that's pretty standard fare when you're a cat owner.
Fair
Like,
enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Peaks. Our friends Terry and Lauren stayed with us for a couple nights. That was lots of fun. We had a beach barbecue one night, and then the next night we went and played trivia. Now, we didn't win, which is disappointing because Terry is a music genius. But we had a team of 4 of us. And the teams we were competing against were like 6, 7, 8, 9 people. So they have obviously depth on the benches.
Yeah.
That is not a good practice in trivia to have any size of teams. That's not okay. But anyways, it was still fun and we did great. The winning team got 69 and we got 67. So we did great.
Good job, you guys.
Yeah. I got my hair cut, so got new fresh do, so that feels good.
Oh, okay. It looks very fresh. I was like, yeah, you look great actually. Not actually, but you look awesome. You look awesome, sis.
It was the grad march today, so I actually did put on like a sundress and did my makeup because I knew I'd see lots of people downtown today. I wasn't just in front of my computer.
Well, you look fantastic.
Thanks. And the other other peak is that I hit my 500 kilometers on our walking challenge.
Oh, congratulations. You're halfway there, sis.
I am, and it's not even the end of June yet, so I'm on my way.
Awesome.
And as for plans, well, we pretty much talked about them in our last episode. I'm headed back to Saskatchewan on Saturday, and I'm looking forward to being with my family for the week. So that's going to wrap it up for me, sis. How about you?
Well, the one ick that I might have is that my ick is people that blame everybody else for their problems and never take accountability for their own shit. That's my ick.
Wow. Do you want to talk about that a little bit more, or is that it?
It just seems to be something that I've just encountered a little bit more frequently lately, where I have conversations with people who don't want to take responsibility for their things that are going on in their life, and they're just blaming other people. And I just find it, I think that's an ick. It's a hard one. It's very hard for me to be around people like that.
Own your shit.
Yeah. And like, if things aren't going the way you want them to, like, look inwards, and stop blaming everybody else for what's going on. We're all grown ass adults. Like, we're not, like, we create our life. So that's my ick. I like the peaks, icks, pits, icks. I like that. I think it's important because I think everybody has icks, and it's not just necessarily like the booty text at 12:05. It's like just things in life where you're just like, ugh, icky. That's one of them. Okay, anyways, peaks. Oh, I've got a really great peak I want to share with you guys. I got my blood work back for my thyroid and my cholesterol. I got to do this every 2 months because my thyroid is overactive, and of course it can fluctuate quite a bit on medication. So I go every 2 months for blood work. And as you guys know, the last time my cholesterol had went up higher, and she was really close to putting me on meds. I, again, took matters into my own hands. I'm like, tell me everything I need to be doing, and pretty much followed that to a strict T. And my cholesterol levels, boom, back down to normal levels.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
So awesome. So here's the tips she gave me, my doctor. Mediterranean diet, for the most part. This type of cholesterol that needed to be lower is from animal fat. So I had to cut out my heavy whipped cream in my coffee. Butter, I had to change from butter to Basil, which I know, margarine, which everyone's like, margarine's terrible for you. Well, what's worse, margarine or being on statins, like cholesterol meds? Like, I don't know. So here I am onto the margarine, and it's helped. So I haven't had any ice cream because that's like high fat. So everything is low fat dairy. So it's like low fat Greek yogurt, or no fat Greek yogurt, no fat cottage cheese. And things like that. And then the coenzyme Q10, as Stacey mentioned in our menopause episode, that was recommended to me by my family doctor as well, to take that, and omega 3s. And so I've been taking all that stuff regularly, and I freaking did it. So I'm super proud of myself for nailing that one down. But it's just really, it really shows you are what you eat. You know, like that was just like in 2 months, my cholesterol, the one was at the last time I was there was like 7.35. It needed to be at 4 something, and it's down to 3.52 or something.
That's impressive.
Serious drop. Oh, and I also adding a lot of fiber to your diet. So I ramped up the amount of chia seeds I eat in my morning breakfast, and I also ramped up the bran buds. And so I was like, and I when I started eating bran muffins, so I making sugar-free bran muffins. So I use honey in them instead of sugar, and it's bran and then usually blueberries and bananas, because that also sweetens it up. And so I've been trying to eat like one of those a day as well. So bran really helps to slow down your digestion and all that stuff, and helps to digest food properly. I guess that's the idea behind that. And that's a big one for lowering your cholesterol as well, like ramp up the fiber. So I did all that, and here we are. So it's super great. And then, yes, for the 6th month in a row, my thyroid levels have stayed the same, which is the first time since I've been diagnosed that my thyroid has been consistently level for 6 months straight. So that's also a really cool thing. Other peak, I went to the rodeo with my friend Aaron on Saturday, the Pilot Butte Rodeo and chuck wagon races. We had a ball, but here's the thing. We got tickets to the cabaret because my brother, he sponsors it. And so he got free tickets. So he gave us tickets to the rodeo and the cabaret. And I said to Aaron when we got there, okay, Aaron, I'm not going to lie. I don't know if I'm going to make the cabaret because I'm usually like in my jammies by 8. So she's like, oh, thank God you said something. Oh, I was like, oh, awesome. So the chuck wagon race was done around 6:30. The cabaret didn't start till 8. And I was like, let's not wait around for the cabaret. And she's like, no. And I'm like, do you want to go for supper at like Freebird? She's like, hell yes. So awesome. Instead of going to the cabaret, we went to the Freebird in Lumsden and had a great supper and just like winded down our night. And we were both home the sun was still up and feeling great about life. So I love being older. It's awesome.
Tell me about the chuck wagons. You wore your chuck wagon shirt, and that must have been a hit.
I don't know if everybody appreciated it quite like me and Aaron did. Aaron gave me a 10 out of 10. On my outfit. We were rating outfits, so the people watching was at a premium there. Real good. The chuck wagon races, so it was the smaller wagons, no outriders.
Okay.
So that took a whole new element out of it, but put a whole new element into it because their second driver would get them to the first barrel, but would not help them do the figure 8 around. So, the outrider would help them get around the barrels to do the figure 8, while the one on the back would put the oven or the stove into the back of the wagon. Yeah. So it was like a little chaotic because, of course, the driver had to get them around the barrel and do the figure 8 without having the front outrider really get them around.
Horses. Yeah.
Like the second driver did get them to the line, like the starting lineup, and keep the horses from charging ahead, but there was nobody there to help them get around that first barrel to start the figure 8. So it was pretty interesting, but it was equally as awesome when it was just like the rush of them all starting, and we got into it. We were just pumped up. And Erin was loving it too. So much so that we're like, okay, where are we going to go watch the big chucks? And she's like, let's go to Stampede. I'm like, it's in a weekend. We can't go.
Pinoca! We need to go to Pinoca.
They're in Pinoca right now.
I know.
That's the problem.
Like, I want to go to Pinoca to watch the chucks in the worst way.
Okay. So maybe that has to be on our next year's to-do list.
Okay. I'm up for that. Like, I've wanted to go to the Pinoca rodeo since
the girls would probably want to go, like Erin and her daughter, because like Holly is Erin's daughter. She's a big barrel racer. Like, she's not in the pro barrel racing, but she's big into it, and they would probably love to go to that too.
I'm all over going to Pinoca. I would skip the Stampede, but I would love to go to Pinoca.
I think you're right. I think I would do the same thing too. So
2027 just got our first item on our vision board, Pinoca.
Okay, Pinoca. Okay. Well, we're going to have to see how my schooling is going because I do plan to take summer classes. So
I think you'd get a break around this time of the year.
Okay, good. Then that might be a good little present to myself. Anyway, I have one. Wow, we were really getting on tangents with my peaks. So my other peak is that my riding lessons are so awesome. And I say that every time. But every time I go to a riding lesson, I just feel so much better. It's just been so awesome. And I was actually even loping a little bit, which is faster than a trot. And I was doing the pattern of the barrels, like a barrel racing pattern. So I was like, one day I'm going to enter and do a barrel race. One day. One probably only, but I want to say that I've done it. So you guys hear it from me right now. I'll let you all know. It'll probably be at like the local rodeo, maybe next summer. And you guys can come cheer me on in my one and only barrel racing jackpot that I'll ever do. But I think it could be addicting because once you start going fast on a horse and you get the feeling of it, you want to go faster.
You know, when you're skiing and you get into flow and there's no risk and you're just like giving her skiing, I feel like that's how it could feel like when you're loping. Like just freedom, no thinking.
Yeah. I have this visual of myself. You guys will laugh at this, but I have had this visual for a long time. Cowboy hat on, with riding a horse down in a field and hair flowing out the back, just like, I don't want to scare my cat. He's sleeping on me, but just like, whoop, like just going so fast and feeling so free, hair flowing out the back. Like I just have had this vision of me on the back for years. And that's pretty much why I started doing lessons. I was like, I just want to fulfill this one dream of mine and just to like run free on a horse.
Beautiful.
I know it's crazy, but anyhow.
It's not crazy, sissy. You're going to do it.
Yeah, I'm going to do it because
you and Jetta.
Yeah, me and Jet. But anyways, okay. So plans, of course, we talked about all the plans, but Stacey's coming home on Saturday and then like going to make supper for her and mom on Saturday night. Sunday, we're having the barbecue. And then Monday is the tree planting, forest planting, Guinness Book of World Record thing that's going to be going on here on Monday. And then Stacey and I on the Wednesday, I think is Canada Day. That's when we'll be selling 50/50 tickets. And somewhere in there, we got to record the podcast somehow, some way. So, but yeah, so that's pretty much it. But before we go, I just want to remind you guys, if you love the episode, please be sure to share it with your friends and loved ones. If you haven't subscribed to us, please make sure you subscribe to our channel. Give us the likes, comment, all that good stuff. Share the love so we keep getting new listeners and keep pumping out our podcast. And also, one last thing. We aren't entirely sure of the date for our shirts yet, but as soon as we know, we'll let you guys know on the next podcast. So stay tuned for that. And we'll let you guys all know shortly. Anyway, okay. That's it for this week, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you want to find us on social media, you can find Stacey on Facebook and LinkedIn. You can find myself, Krista, on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and you can find Sisters Social Call on Instagram. I think that's going to wrap it up for us, Sissy.
Awesome. Love you, sissy.
Love you too.